The government of the Gambia has rejected the National Assembly's investigative findings and recommendations against former Minister of Petroleum Abdoulaye Diop, who is currently the Minister of Tourism, and former police chief and current Minister of Interior Abdoulaye Sanyang in the Russian oil scandal. This story is written by Tabora Bojang of the Standard newspaper. A joint committee of the Public Accounts Committee, known as FPAC, and the Public Enterprise Committee (PEC) of the Assembly investigated the suspected dubious importation and sale of petroleum products from a Russian ship and recommended a vote of censure against the two cabinet ministers for a litany of violations and abuse of office. According to the Parliamentary Committee, Minister Job may have committed misconduct in his role in the purported government policy that allowed owners of the Russian oil apogee FZC to deposit their products at the Gambia Petroleum Depot, giving them a monopoly over local oil marketing companies. Lawmakers also found that this purported government policy did not go through the due consultative process required, and there was no evidence of its approval by Cabinet, even though Minister Job claimed that it was discussed there. The committee further reported that Minister Job allegedly interfered in the police investigations following the arrest of the principal suspect, Mr. Urimas, who was arrested, detained briefly, and released without charges, after which he reportedly fled the country. Presenting the government's response to the inquiry report and recommendations on Minister Job, Finance Minister C.D. Keita told the Assembly that government holds the view that the former Minister of Petroleum, Abdoulaye Diop, acted within his ministerial powers to issue the policy dated 30th October 2023. Quote, "What the minister has done is a policy which we deemed is within his authority. Minister have the authority to issue policy directives that are deemed necessary in enhancing the operation of their sectors and at the same time not compromising the well-being of other stakeholders," the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs told lawmakers. In the case of former IGP Sanyang, the Parliamentary Committee observed that he prematurely halted the police investigation in the report of the Financial Intelligence Unit (FIU) and also failed to keep proper command authority in the handling of the investigation as IGP. The committee recommended for him to be administratively held to account for his inaction following receipt of the intelligence report. However, in its response, government stated through Finance Minister C.D. Keita that the police acted following the receipt of the intelligence report from the FIU and also commenced an investigation into the activities of Apogee FZC, Crete Energy, and Ultimate Beach Logistics for potential violations, and that the investigation was only halted after the source of funds was established. The Assembly recommended for the immediate suspension of the General Manager of Gambia Petroleum, Hero Jallo, and initiation of criminal perjury proceedings against him for deliberately misleading Parliament. Lawmakers also accused Jallo of acting as an agent for Apogee FZC in the sale of the oil by introducing them to local oil marketing companies and facilitating preferential treatment, regulatory evasion, and monopolistic practices in their favor. According to the government, sending Jallo on administrative leave pending the review outcome for alleged perjury will not be necessary at this stage, and that allegations of perjury against him fall within the investigative remit of the police, who should first investigate to establish whether sufficient evidence exists to support the allegation. Government further argued that the decision regarding the administrative leave of Mr. Jallo falls within the purview of the Board of Gambia Petroleum, and that government does not have absolute control over the depot and cannot just impose a course of action without taking it to the board. Government accepted the recommendation for the Attorney General to consist a special panel to further investigate the conduct of Police SIU Commander Pa Aliu Jawara in the course of investigation, as well as the procedure adopted by the Gambia Police Force in the investigation against Mr. Orimus. On the recommendation for the Registrar General to immediately present a petition to the High Court to compulsorily wind up Ultimate Beach Logistics in the Gambia, the government said the Ministry of Justice will assess the legal and factual basis for initiating compulsory winding up proceedings against the company, and should sufficient grounds be established, the necessary petition will be filed before the High Court. The government further stated that the recommendation to bar Mr. Akofo, one of the suspects in the case, from acting as a director or officer in any company operating in the Gambia can only happen if ordered by a competent court, and that the Attorney General does not have the legal authority to unilaterally bar an individual from serving as a company director. What do you guys think of this story? I know it's long and I'm sorry for my voice because I'm having cold.